Welcome to the Economic Preparation and Depression channel. I'm your host Tony. Thank you for joining me on this weekday edition here at the station. We're going to be talking about a lot today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate all of you guys' comments and support. It has been a blessing to me, and I'm sure it's been a blessing to others. We're going to be talking about inflation and how inflation is not only eating away at your U.S. dollar purchasing power, but how it's causing a lot of American families around this country to be able to have to make decisions on what to buy, what bill to pay first, and things of that nature. And it's only going to get worse as we head into spring and summertime out of this wintertime. We're going to be talking about also gold gaining on a softer U.S. dollar, and also the President Trump's tariffs and how that's going to impact not just the U.S. but other countries. For those Americans who are living abroad, possibly in other countries, is going to impact them as well. And so we're going to be talking about all of this. And also the last thing we want to be talking about is a stimulus check. Is it possible that we could get another stimulus check before 2025 ends? Either one of two conditions have to be possible for that to occur. The economy becomes bad and the media and everyone admits that we're officially in a recession, meaning that the unemployment rate rises above 6%. Unemployment rate rises above 6 or 7%, and also the job manufacturing increases continue to happen at a rapid pace, both not just in the government sector but in the private sector as well, particularly among the tech and the FANG stocks and all of that. If those two conditions are met, I believe it's possible that later on this year, possibly in the fall or the winter time of 2025, it's possible that some type of stimulus will be introduced either by the Federal Reserve or by the president himself, asking Congress to provide some type of bill related to that, like they've done in the previous presidencies on both sides. So let's get right into it. As you can see, it costs a lot to live in these 12 major cities globally in 2025 here. A lot of people are moving to different cities here to try to adjust their cost of living. Some people are moving out to more rural settings. Some people are leaving suburbia. But some people want to live in the major city because they have the convenience of transportation, the convenience of jobs, the convenience of everything right in these smart 10-minute cities, they call it. So this was an interesting thing on CNBC. They said how much it can cost for one person to live in the 12 major cities globally in 2025. And as you can see, Tokyo, Japan is extremely expensive. It costs a person on average $2,000 to live in Tokyo for a month as a single person, according to Numbell's data here. It's a very large city, as you can see, with Mount Fuji in the background. There's other cities on this list too. Globally, Singapore and Asia, of course, no surprise there. It tops the list as the city with the highest cost of living there. London, as well, is a big city, of course. Geneva, Switzerland, Zurich, San Francisco, New York City, of course. A one-bedroom there is over $3,900 a month. Total cost of living is high in San Fran, as you know, if you're in these states. London, Singapore, Chicago, Sydney, Australia, Lisbon, Portugal, Seoul, South Korea, Shanghai, China, India, Mumbai, Jakarta, Indonesia. So these are just the top cities here. Now, obviously, there's other cities where the cost of living has gone up that this article has not focused on. But for those of you who are looking to think about moving abroad, say if you're, a retiree or you're a nomad worker or a gig worker and you want to move abroad, think about places other than these places, these hot spots that everybody's looking at. Maybe you want to look at lower cost of living places that you have somewhat of a medium standard of living. Maybe if you're in the Western Hemisphere, maybe look at, maybe Panama or Costa Rica or Belize, or maybe if you're in the eastern side of the world, maybe we'll look at countries in Europe like Portugal. Now the taxes the cost of living may be cheap, but in Europe the taxes are super high. So be careful if you're talking about trying to relocate to, say, like a Portugal, or if you're trying to relocate to places like the Baltic states like Finland or Sweden or something like that. So you want to look at that. Or if you're in Asia, if you're trying to relocate to, say, Philippines or even Cambodia or Laos or some of these countries down there, where the cost of living may be Thailand, but you have to be careful because, like I said, there's other costs involved. So just something to think about. Egg prices are surging again while Powell and the Fed grip on inflation may be slipping. So now, initially they told us here about 5 years ago, since this pandemic has started or is starting to move on from the pandemic, now we're on to this new pandemic, maybe a bird flu. So we have to watch out for that too. Like, that's another aside. This bird flu thing may turn out to be something like the COVID thing. where it shuts the economy down, and that's something that we have to look at too, because COVID started out that too in another country in China, and then it kind of slowly, people are like, oh, it's no big deal, and then it kind of grew, the ball slowly went downhill. So egg prices surging again. Some people say they're paying over $10 or $11 for eggs at Sam's, Costco, some of these wholesale places, HEB. Let me know what you're paying for eggs. I haven't seen prices that high. I've seen prices around $6-7 maybe. So where I'm at, I don't know if it's more for a dozen or not. So, but the bottom line is that tariffs are going to contain. As we raise tariffs on other countries, they're going to retaliate and raise tariffs on us. Canada, Mexico, all these countries that we get our products from, they're going to raise prices on us, and this is going to cause a domino effect. One commenter mentioned on the previous video that yes, they're going to raise prices on us, retaliatory, and this is going to bring not only inflation up, but this is going to bring the job market down, because remember, there's a lot of jobs involved, manufacturing jobs involved overseas, and getting these products to us, and at the shipping ports. And if the shipping ports, even though they're not on strike, they've averted that strike for this year at least anyway, they come to an agreement with the unions. The problem is that if those goods and services don't flow because of the tariffs, then that's going to cause a big problem. Food shortages could be a problem. So I encourage everybody to start figure out how to grow your garden, even if you live in some type of apartment or high rise, or try to get hydroponics, learn about hydroponics, seed care, heirloom seeds, indoor gardening, or gardening on your patio, at least for simple things like spices, or tomatoes, or peppers, or whatever. Just try to learn about that, because you can actually think about growing your own food. Even though it takes months to harvest, at least you have an idea of how to grow something on your own, because with all these chemicals and GMOs in the foods, it can be kind of crazy how much we depend on other people for our food and for our livelihood. So gold gains on softer dollar. Trump tariffs threatens. This Reuters.com, national news agency. You can see gold is gaining closer to $3,000 an ounce. Now, for the average man, that's kind of high of a price to be able to get this stuff. Remember, you have to convert this. People say that, oh, gold and silver preserves your assets, it preserves your wealth. That's true, but remember, you have to convert this to, if there is a true collapse, you have to convert this to whatever the local currency is going to be used. Our digital currency is going to be used, so it still has to be converted. But in any event, silver is also coming along for the ride. It's above $32 an ounce now for silver, the poor man's gold, so that's good news too. And that's something tangible that we can look at. Now, this is a good thing in the sense of, hey, precious metals are rising, but it's a bad thing in the sense that the dollar is losing purchasing power tremendously here. And because it's losing purchasing power, we have to think of ways to get our stuff into hard tangible assets like land, gold and silver. Maybe if you want to do cryptos, you can. I'm not too much of a crypto person, because with digital, anything digital can be taken away from you. It's monitored. It's regulated or whatever. So I'm not too much of that. But people who want to do that, they can. I'm not against that. But gold, silver, land, oil, housing, assets. If you have any type of rental properties, or somebody, that's where the bread and butter is going to be at at least for the foreseeable future for this next year or two. Now, Trump sent 2 stimulus checks in his first term, President Trump. Here's what the experts say about another payment. This was on CNN News, CBS News. This was a couple months ago in November. Now, the question that they asked is the economy bad enough for a new stimulus check? Well, not exactly yet, because remember, we only got the stimulus checks after everything shut down in this economy. So, meaning the major stores shut down, the monopoly stores stayed open, of course. Amazon, Target, what else stayed open? Walmart, the big guys stayed open, but the little guys and everybody else had to shut down. So that's the only case we can see that I can see that we'll get another stimulus check, and that'll be in preparation for if we get one more stimulus check, that'll be in preparation for some sort of universal basic income, if you will, or UBI. That'll be the prelude to that. And I don't even know. I think last time we got $1,400 was like the highest payment that most people got. Some people maybe got a little bit more than that if you had kids, but I think this next payment is not going to be much more than that. But it will help. Like I said, it will help, because that's going to help stimulate the economy, because most people, even if they're not saving it, they're going to spend it on something to help stimulate the local economy in town. So could President Trump issue a stimulus check? He needs to. I mean, there is some checks to other places, like, other countries that were supporting Ukraine and Syria and Russia and all kinds of places that were supporting. So it's possible, but don't expect it until the economy is at a turning point or absolutely bad point. And so, They didn't do it in 2024. IRS didn't do it in 2024, and IRS is not going to be the one doing it in 2025 because they're going through what we're going through, this transition with, the workers and the probation workers and the cuts and things that are going through right now with the federal government. So the best chance for this to happen is going to be summertime. So I would say anywhere between June and August, before the new budget passes in September, if we get to that point, with this current budget, then that'll be the best chance for them issuing some kind of stimulus check to the American people. And that's going to be based on Congress, basically, not in executive order by President Trump. And so it's possible. Right now, I will give the chances in terms of that happening at 35 to 40%. I don't think it's a high chance because of the situation that we're in, but I'll give it a 35 to 40% chance that the stimulus check will be coming because of the high inflation, and it will be because of the high inflation and high unemployment combination. So that means that the inflation has to be above 5 or 6%, and the unemployment rate has to be above 7%. For those conditions have to be met for a fourth stimulus check, I guess this would be to be met under this administration. At least that's the definition that they're probably going to be going by. And but anyway, in any case, you still need to prepare as best you can. Only buy essential items, just like others are doing, just like this administration is doing. They're cutting out the fat. We have to cut out the fat as all Americans, and hunker down because hard times are coming. Not hard times that we can't survive, obviously, but harder times than what we're used to as Americans. Other countries may be better prepared for this because they're already used to hard times or cutting back on some things, but we have to get used to that, whether it's rationing food, rationing our food supplies, rationing our pepper supplies, or learning new skills from neighbors and friends and cohorts. That's also things that we need to be doing too as well. Just practical steps, nothing too crazy, nothing too secret, but I just want to let you know that. But anyway, God bless you as we head through the middle of this week here, or the middle of the month. And we'll get more numbers on the jobs report on Thursday. I believe it is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll get those numbers to you on Thursday or Friday probably, and then we'll see if we're growing. My guess is that we're not growing in the jobs department numbers. Remember, a lot of those jobs are phantom jobs, ghost jobs. Many of you have applied. Same here. You applied to jobs or promotion or something, and you get the promotion vacancies either canceled or it's just them collecting it. They would send you a notice back saying we're just collecting a bunch of resumes or date for a database, type of thing. Probably to eventually be replaced by AI. So we have to look out for that too as well, ladies and gentlemen. So be blessed, stay blessed wherever you're at, cities, countries, shopping, and I'll talk to you soon later on this week, Friday or Thursday, as we get closer to more reports. Thank you. Take care.